This is everything. It's still sitting in. Like I'm half drunk right now from all the champagne, so I don't know how to act exactly.
Raise your glass, make a toast for the days we were broke. Round trip to hell and back, through the fire and the smoke. Raise your glass, make a toast for the days we were broke. Round trip to hell and back, through the fire and the smoke. Yeah, niggas flash, but they really broke. I don't get the math, count the cash, GPS the bank, practice on my laugh, making moves, but they standing still. Tell me how that works. High worth comes with hella stress to balance out the perks. Yeah, checks arrive every Friday, now we going up. Drippy niggas, pretty women, always showing love. Every day I got a PR, it's a way of life. I heard being great, it cost some years, I'ma pay the price. Raise your glass, make a toast for the days we were broke. Round trip to hell and back, through the fire and the smoke. Raise your glass, make a toast for the days we were broke. Round trip to hell and back, through the fire and the smoke. XLs to the show, we riding deep tonight. I hit my shorty like you know I'm diving deep tonight. I'ma spend it if she worth it, gotta treat her right. Once I saw her naked body, had to see it twice. Real shit, I need a shot or 20. I must have a lot of demons cause I stocked the Henny. Yeah, I spend a lot, I'm saving, no, I'm stacking plenty. Me and Callan working magic, young Shaq and Penny. Yeah. I've been pressed for time, I don't have enough for basic. My energy is sacred and I don't like to waste it. I'm close to another dub, I can taste it. I really made it out the basement. Raise your glass, make a toast for the days we were broke. Round trip to hell and back, through the fire and the smoke. Raise your glass, make a toast for the days we were broke. Round trip to hell and back, through the fire and the smoke. Yeah, if they hate, then let them hate, then watch the money stack. Manifest, then we run it up, then we run it back. Plan it out, then go make a play, they gon' play themselves, yeah. I do me repeatedly, and that shit sells, yeah. I sleep better when my bag is right. Have a realistic vision, that's just bad advice. Yeah, I used to always wonder what the status like. My ego the same size as my appetite. Raise your glass, make a toast for the days we were broke. Round trip to hell and back, through the fire and the smoke. Raise your glass, make a toast for the days we were broke. Round trip to hell and back.
This is everything. It's still sitting in. Like I'm half drunk right now from all the champagne, so I don't know how to act exactly.
Raise your glass, make a toast for the days we were broke. Round trip to hell and back, through the fire and the smoke. Raise your glass, make a toast for the days we were broke. Round trip to hell and back, through the fire and the smoke. Yeah, niggas flash, but they really broke. I don't get the math, count the cash, GPS the bank, practice on my laugh, making moves, but they standing still. Tell me how that works. High worth comes with hella stress to balance out the perks. Yeah, checks arrive every Friday, now we going up. Drippy niggas, pretty women, always showing love. Every day I got a PR, it's a way of life. I heard being great, it cost some years, I'ma pay the price. Raise your glass, make a toast for the days we were broke. Round trip to hell and back, through the fire and the smoke. Raise your glass, make a toast for the days we were broke. Round trip to hell and back, through the fire and the smoke. XLs to the show, we riding deep tonight. I hit my shorty like you know I'm diving deep tonight. I'ma spend it if she worth it, gotta treat her right. Once I saw her naked body, had to see it twice. Real shit, I need a shot or 20. I must have a lot of demons cause I stock the Henny. Yeah, I spend a lot, I'm saving, no, I'm stacking plenty. Me and Callan working magic, young Shaq and Penny. Yeah. I've been pressed for time, I don't have enough for basic. My energy is sacred and I don't like to waste it. I'm close to another dub, I can taste it. I really made it out the basement. Raise your glass, make a toast for the days we were broke. Round trip to hell and back, through the fire and the smoke. Raise your glass, make a toast for the days we were broke. Round trip to hell and back, through the fire and the smoke. Yeah. If they hate, then let them hate, then watch the money stack. Manifest, then we run it up, then we run it back. Plan it out, then go make a play. They gon' play themselves, yeah. I do me repeatedly, and that shit sells, yeah. I sleep better when my bag is right. Have a realistic vision, that's just bad advice. Yeah, I used to always wonder what the status like. My ego the same size as my appetite. Raise your glass, make a toast for the days we were broke. Round trip to hell and back, through the fire and the smoke. Raise your glass, make a toast for the days we were broke. Round trip to hell and back.
This is everything. It's still sitting in. Like I'm half drunk right now from all the champagne, so I don't know how to act exactly.
Raise your glass, make a toast for the days we were broke. Round trip to hell and back, through the fire and the smoke. Raise your glass, make a toast for the days we were broke. Round trip to hell and back, through the fire and the smoke. Yeah. Niggas flash, but they really broke. I don't get the math. Count the cash, GPS the bank. Practice on my laugh. Making moves, but they standing still. Tell me how that works. High worth comes with hella stress to balance out the perks. Yeah. Checks arrive every Friday. Now we going up. Drippy niggas, pretty women, always showing love. Every day I got a PR, it's a way of life. I heard being great, it cost some years. I'ma pay the price. Raise your glass, make a toast for the days we were broke. Round trip to hell and back, through the fire and the smoke. Raise your glass, make a toast for the days we were broke. Round trip to hell and back, through the fire and the smoke. XLs to the show, we riding deep tonight. I hit my shorty like you know I'm diving deep tonight. I'ma spend it if she worth it, gotta treat her right. Once I saw her naked body, had to see it twice. Real shit, I need a shot or 20. I must have a lot of demons cause I stock the Henny. Yeah, I spend a lot, I'm saving, no, I'm stacking plenty. Me and Callan working magic, young Shaq and Penny. Yeah. I've been pressed for time, I don't have enough for basic. My energy is sacred and I don't like to waste it. I'm close to another dub, I can taste it. I really made it out the basement. Raise your glass, make a toast for the days we were broke. Round trip to hell and back, through the fire and the smoke. Raise your glass, make a toast for the days we were broke. Round trip to hell and back, through the fire and the smoke. Yeah. If they hate, then let them hate, then watch the money stack. Manifest, then we run it up, then we run it back. Plan it out, then go make a play. They gon' play themselves, yeah. I do me repeatedly, and that shit sells, yeah. I sleep better when my bag is right. Have a realistic vision, that's just bad advice. Yeah, I used to always wonder what the status like. My ego the same size as my appetite.
Uno. I just closed the whole Discord. Hold on. On. Hello? Does everyone hear us? Hello,
Hello, hello.
everyone.
Yo,
What's up?
How's it going today? Happy day.
Happy Saturday. Yeah, excited to be here with y'all. We got Dr. Bo in the building.
In the building.
CEO.
Look, he's got it right already.
and and Jenny. Appreciate all you guys having me. Honestly, you guys have welcomed me into the the streaming community. So just want to call that out as sort of an intro because I wouldn't be here if y'all didn't sort of convince me of the value in the future. So if y'all want to go ahead and do a quick intro, that would be dope. Just in case there are people that are coming from my side of things, get to know you guys too, and possibly become fans.
Sure, fair enough. So I'm Jennifer, or Jennifer, or Jen, or Jenny. Um, and normally we're doing feelings and mental health, but since I like to share music from the community of people that we've met along the way, I have decided to, or when Quan told me that he was releasing an album, I was like, okay, well, can we put it on Twitch, please? Yes, okay. And so here we are, and I figured we would do it on my platform because showcasing different music. And then I brought the Dr. Bo and Visionary Stevo, who are both music and know much more.
Yes, yes, yes.
excellent.
The Dr. Bo is in the building. If you don't know, now you know. Dr. Bo, engineer, mental health awareness advocate, psychoanalysis, and neurodiverse individual. So let's talk about music and the fine, majestic things of the universe and such. Passing it over to Visionary Stevo. What's good, Stevo? Introduce yourself to the
What's
people.
going on? What's going on, everybody? Appreciate that, Dr. Bo. Appreciate you, Quan. And thank you, Jenny, for building up this nice little platform. I feel like I'm on Clubhouse with a video right now. But like, yo, thank you. I'm Visionary Stevo. I produce for the most part. And I do a lot of different other things. I DJ and learning how to engineer as well on the side. You feel me? So just the creator first, you know what I'm saying? And then I tap into other different interests and stuff and just, stay curious, stay dangerous, and you know what I'm saying? Keep learning. You feel me? Yeah. Smoke up.
Absolutely, absolutely, bro. Big blessings to y'all. Appreciate that. I know this is somewhat focused on me, but I do want to, provide y'all opportunities to engage and answer some questions and, have dialogue too, right? I think it'd be a lot. Well, it'd be a disservice or an injustice to have all three of y'all here and not get y'all feedback and your engagement through this whole session. So, yeah, I look forward to what questions y'all have and what discussion y'all want to bring forward. And yeah, we'll talk about the music, and I'm curious to hear where Dr. Bo, where you're at in your journey, and same thing for you, Steve. I feel like I talked to Jen enough. I know kind of what she's up to, what she's wanting to do, but yeah, just hoping to hear about what y'all are looking forward to in your careers too. So yeah, any ideas on how we can sort of get this started?
All right, to get started with the Ask Me Anything, let me ask Stevo this. You ever released an album?
Have I? No. I release, a beat tape or two, a little dusty, what I'm saying, wave files and shit. But I think that word album is like it's a meaning behind it. Like it's a story behind, it's a vision behind it. So there's a certain delivery that comes with it that it's just a special piece of art. Like everything that goes into it, from the thought of it to the action to the end and the after too. You know what I'm saying? Like to the release and then and the shelf life of it as well. So me personally, nah, I haven't released the album. I think I see myself dropping a collective soon. Maybe just getting rid of some stuff, but I'm really starting to get into that mindset of like composing a story. You know what I'm saying? You're telling a story with something. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what an album is, just like on steroids or some shit. You know, it's like a single on steroids, basically. You know, but not.
So with
Good.
that fact, Quan, have you ever released a mixtape? And like for those that don't know, what's the difference between an EP, an LP, and a mixtape? Because
Right.
Quan's got a whole album out. That's a little bit different than just a couple of beats
Yeah,
on.
I don't even understand kind of the different levels, and I'm sure anyone like the platform that I have, that's a good thoughts there for because I don't know, but I realized, well, I don't know, but probably a lot of people in here don't know.
Yeah, Quan, you could just explain a little bit of the difference of an album versus if a rapper release a mixtape versus an album. What's this process like for you?
Yeah. So I mean, the easiest way to sort of describe it for me is it's analogous to books, right? So if I'm going to release a novel, right, it's going to have a lot of different chapters in it. It's going to have a lot of content. It's going to have beginning, a middle, and end, as opposed to like a short story, which could be maybe in the length of a 3-song EP, or it could be a single, right? It's just a small short story, something you can digest. That's really where the world is at right now, is the short stories. But EP is going to be more toward the shorter stories. Books that you can read, pretty quickly, get through. But they're still good. It's good content, something you go back to. So um, the I'd say the classic album concept though is what you're thinking of when you think of an LP. And so, when you think about these larger body of works, these projects that artists typically release every 2 years, you'll look at major artists, and there's just math that goes to say, well, you drop it this year, you tour it the year after that, and then you market and prepare for the next year. It's the cycle is a little faster now, right? If you're gonna drop, you're dropping a lot more. If you're trying to be successful, unless you're like you know, a tier one artist, right? Which there's probably 10 to 15 of those people who can afford to wait 2 years and still do numbers.
Yeah,
So yeah, I don't know that there's math that can really tell you what has to be an LP or what has to be an EP. I'd say between anywhere from 3, I think, to 7 or 8 can be an EP, and I think after that it's got to be sort of an LP or a long play. So um, I'm not sure as far as the actual like rules behind it, and I don't think anybody cares to enforce them because it's up to you to market it, right? It's a term behind, it's a reactive term behind what you're actually dropping. If you drop 4 or 5, well, you tell them it's an EP, understand sort of what you're thinking. You don't have to tell them exactly how many songs. Um,
of
yeah.
course. That kind of plays into Sheldon Tom's question was how important these days to stick to the ideas of EP and LPs. I know for certain streaming sites they do have the requirements like EPs, for example, are under 6 songs or like
Right.
under 30 minutes versus an LP. It's longer press for those that don't know the terminology. So these days, most people do it as he's saying, like short stories. Singles are just short stories, snippets until maybe you're doing an album. Maybe you want to tell the whole novel. So, what's rollout like for your story, for the story of Snowfall? Explain to us what does it mean to you?
Okay, sweet. So I purposefully constructed the track list to go from pain to clarity to prosperity, right? And so you think about that, like the struggle that you have to experience to make your transformation, right? You're figuring out who you are, where you fit, what you should be doing with your time, etc. And then you prosper at the end of it. And so I'm at a point now where, you know, I have a good routine. I know how to be a professional and make money from this, especially considering like the merchandise and the things I'm doing outside of music, like the business side of things. I'm starting to understand. So it's like you have to almost go through those, like take those L's, take those lumps in order to see yourself through the other side, and that's really what Snowfall's all about, right? At the end of the intro, I say the struggle is synonymous with snowfall. It's pretty, but the road is hard to travel. So it's like it wasn't going to be easy to get from point A to point B or from A to Z, but it's going to be worth it at the end when you make it there. So that's the symbolism behind it.
That's a bar. So Steve-O, chat, you got any questions for Quan?
Yeah, man, I do have questions. So is this is your first body of work basically you release, a full project wise, right or wrong?
Yeah. So
Okay.
so well, let me help explain that a little bit. So I actually dropped a project called The Arrival back in college, and it was actually you were probably around at that time. I think
Yeah.
you may not have been close or whatever, but you were probably around on campus. But I dropped that, did a little party at my crib for it, and I uploaded the songs and whatever. And the craziest thing happened. I learned on drop day, but I uploaded to SoundCloud, and my intro record, The Arrival, got flagged and didn't make it.
Mm.
It didn't make it up on so The Arrival, the actual title of the project didn't make it on the SoundCloud project. I had done like a whole like intro promo video for it, all that stuff. Me and my friends, I had my friends come and act. D. Salibi was in the video, um, and yeah, it was a whole vibe, and everybody was excited, and the drop went well, but nobody will ever really know because I never got to put the song out to the world. So
Right.
it was just kind of intro list. But I dropped that. It was like 8 songs, and that was back in when was it? 2013, 2014, 2013. No, excuse me, that was way earlier. It was like 2017.
Where?
I did drop music in high school and stuff, but I would never call those like projects of mine because I wasn't Quan Draper at that time. Like I was a whole different identity.
Well,
and
so
friends would love me to talk about that.
I clicked on your Spotify, and I'll take one of the easy questions. I was reading your bio, but I guess I didn't realize like what the story behind your name was. With Quan Draper, if you
Yeah,
So-
someone's a Marvel
Yeah.
fan in here.
you want to share a little bit about that?
Sure, yeah. So, Quan Draper, the namesake, right? I didn't really know who I was for a long time, and I think I realized that life imitates art, and art imitates life. So, I looked around at what influences me and sort of what stuck out. So I've always been obsessed with like the James Bond, Don Draper sort of character, right? Hyper masculine, creative, driven, ambitious, cunning in some ways, um, egotistical. Not necessarily my favorite trait of mine, but I do have a strong ego, right? Because I have a strong sense of individualism. Just that I have my own brand and all those kind of things that was important to me. So, yeah, I'd say those kind of characteristics in that show, Mad Men, sort of helped me form like the sort of the brand that I wanted to exude and who I wanted to be. And a lot of it's about purpose, intentionality, individualism, like individualism and being free to be who you are, right? And to not really care about what others think about you. It's a certain like freedom or confidence you have to have in order to like walk around and like own what you do on a day-to-day basis, right? You can always hide behind the shadows, but to own it, to be out front and like, this is who I am, this is everything. Like, and y'all heard the album, so even the second song in, I'm trying to pour my heart out to you, trying to tell you all the details of my life. And that's part of like being an artist, right? You got to be very vulnerable and to tell your truth. So that's part of what the Draper brand means and how Mad Men influenced that.
Neat. Also, I just want to throw out there that I've never clicked on someone's bio, so to see that you have like 4 people in Ames, 4 in Minneapolis, 10 in Chicago, and then 13 in Sioux City and 14 in Omaha. That's neat. I've never like clicked to look at something like that before.
Yeah, appreciate
Do you,
that.
what
yeah,
are your I
it's
guess
cool.
analytics and stuff show? Like where has your reach been?
Yeah, it's mostly Midwest, so bigger cities. Like I realized that like in my life, I've grown up in Sioux City, and then I went to college, and like people like from college especially moved off to different cities, right? In the Midwest, Des Moines, they moved to Minneapolis, Chicago, Kansas City, just Midwest places. And so I have a decent network in each of those places, and they have friends. They put me on because they're such good people. I feel like I attracted such good people in my life. That's one of my good traits. I know how to pick friends. I can I can see value in people. Like I'm like, yeah, that person, like, they got good character. I can definitely kick it with them. I haven't had like friends who really like have been fake to me, because I pick them well. So they show love, and like even my guy Schoolie out in Atlanta, like we talk on a maybe a quarterly basis throughout the year, and just check in. And he's always hustling, always winning, but he shows love, and he's out in Atlanta. We don't even really see each other, right? It's been a year. We couldn't even travel or do anything, and the year prior, I was wrapped up in a relationship and whatever. So I haven't even seen my friend in a couple years, but he still shows love out in those places because, yeah, it's just I wish they had so many really good, talented people, and I was blessed to go to school there for sure.
That's really neat.
That's a
Um,
blessing. What do you think makes you able to like intuitively see good characteristics in people? Because trust in the music business in general is a very important trait and a very important character to have that a lot of people don't. Yeah, Jenny?
and I kind of want to add on to that, just in more of like a statement, but like I can tell that it's there because you sing about it. Like I feel like you sing about your awareness of your energy and what you're putting into people, or at least
Yeah,
in a more clear way for me to understand than others.
yeah,
But yeah, to just
absolutely.
add on to that, yeah.
Yeah, it matters a lot to me. So I'll say I had really good parents. Like I still do. Like I have great parents. They have great character. And they always like showed me the right way. So like I was raised with really good like moral code. So I know what right and wrong is. I have a good sense of principle, and so I can easily tell based on habits or just decision making in general, right? If somebody and their goals align with mine. Um, for example, like I'm not very into like any sort of like abuse to women or like um, toxic, um, very possessive, controlling sorts of ways to women. I don't like I can't be friends with men like males who do that. Like it's just like easy, like how you treat your woman, how you treat your mom, you speak to people, like that kind of thing carries a lot of weight for me. So it's small things like that that I sort of build into my ability to judge. And then I think at the end of it, like you have to take a risk because you never really know if somebody's gonna, turn on you. But you just have to have good intentions, and then do your best to find people who also have good intentions. What do y'all think? How do y'all trust people?
No, I was
That's the
gonna say
word.
that. Yeah, I feel like yes, I agree. I think that it's the part about finding them and then figuring out what that looks like after is the important part because um I had two thoughts and then they both ran off different ways, so I'm trying to put them back together. Um the emotional intelligence to be able to like thank the people that have been in your life for what they're in there for. But also like the willingness to move on if that's not the energy that you need to have in your life.
Right.
Yeah, I think that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean it's at the end of the day, it's as the word was said, intention. Like your intention of interactions or negotiations with people depends on how you present yourself. If you walk into a room and like a producer may not have the same energy or the same beat as you have, maybe that'll take you longer to complete the song. Maybe it'll take you longer to get the lyrics in your head and mind. Like with anything, it's intention. That's the word. We got a gem, baby.
Not bad.
They close to Steve-O.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Man, I would say trust is peace. I don't know. I haven't experienced much. I would say for me, what I do know works best would be setting boundaries. You feel me? Like many different aspects of life. Like uh, family boundaries, relationship boundaries, peer boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Like all of that matters because if you don't give yourself that space, then you know what I'm saying, you gotta put yourself first at some point for certain things before you can like take care of like before you can better someone else. You know what I'm saying? Like so just like living by that for the last maybe, a couple years has taught me more to, you know what I'm saying, give myself boundaries to be vulnerable and you know what I'm saying, trust as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause every thought like could lead to something. You feel me? So like
Yeah.
positivity and you know what I'm saying, and reciprocation and you know what I'm saying. All of that builds trust, but it can like it's like a catch-22. You feel me? It can change like a sheet. You feel me? Like you can pull that sheet right off and boom, like the glass is revealed. You feel me? So you know.
Yeah.
And then that's just a lesson. You feel me? Like so, it's just a lesson to just learn and you know what
There,
I'm saying, just not let it happen again.
there was a podcast that I listened to a couple days ago called "Forgive Yourself for Shrinking into Spaces That Do Not Fit You."
That's interesting.
Um, Whether you're changing yourself to fit into someone else's life or to, yeah, I mean, I get it sucks because it's almost like you don't want to admit that you're changing yourself in a certain way. But if you're adjusting your behaviors, whether you are comfortable with it or not, like forgive yourself for doing that, but make sure that that's what kind of environment you maybe. It was just really interesting because it talked about trying, like, being okay with maybe walking away from, or I, for some reason, I like to use the word mourning the relationships that weren't supposed to be in your life because I feel like any relationship that we wanted that now we don't, but we still do, you have to move that. I don't know if I
I understand.
I get you. I get you.
Um,
I wouldn't have any more questions in the chat, but
you
okay, what
brought
you
up a
saying?
good point, Jen, um, around vision, right, and having a shared vision. I think it's important that like when you have a friendship or a relationship or whatever it is, that whatever the vision you have for what your future with that person is, whether it's in friendship, romance,
Yeah.
anything like that, it's shared. You have the same vision. This is the role they're gonna play in your life, right? And if at any point that changes, like you can't string somebody along, like you need to like make sure that they understand. Okay, like I don't necessarily want to do this anymore. So it's part of that shared vision. You just have to have complete accountability from both sides. So yeah, what other questions do we have?
I got a question. I got like I think it's like a double question. Sorry to do this to you, but
You good? Good. I like questions.
what kind of trends that are out? You know what I'm saying? Like positive trends that you have found to work good for you that you're like starting to implement into your like rollout. And then my second question would be and now that could be like clips or different what I'm saying, different ways to drop and stuff like that. And then my second question is more so like what have you learned from dropping what I'm saying, single 2 tracks and then an album, what I'm saying, like how have you learned to what I'm saying, market yourself and drop your music and like be prepared and reach out to other people to get stuff done for you to have all of that what I'm saying, ready for you as an artist. You know what I'm saying? Talk about more so the business that, what I'm saying, that it takes to drop some of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? As a producer, I can kind of understand like I only got a certain like section of it to do. You know what I'm saying? You have a whole different like I wouldn't be an artist if, what I'm saying, man, I couldn't do it. It's just too much for me. You know what I'm saying? So but like, what I'm saying, pat yourself on the
To
back,
be an
you know what I'm
artist,
saying?
absolutely.
Go ahead, talk your shit real quick.
Appreciate that. No, so hold that second question. All right. So I'm gonna have you repeat that one because that was like 3 questions in the second. It was like a 2A, 2B, 2C thing. So but you mentioned positive trends. And I want to mention that. So I want to give you the context behind that and how I think about it. So we've all been 13, 14, 15 at some point, right? I think for me, it was like Snapchat at the time was the big thing. And so everything was about Snapchat. Um, Now it's TikTok, right? So at any point, the best way to market to people is going to be to the young kids. And the reason why is because they have no responsibilities. They have the opportunity to be online and to be influenced. They have way more time online. What do you get? The less time you have online, you step away from, social media. You watch the news more. It's just you just do what older people do because it's you're not tapped into
Lots of
what the young kids are doing. So it's tough. Like you're not gonna be. How are you gonna be on Twitter right now if you're 50? What are you gonna be on there for? Like it's not gonna work for you. It's not the content that you're used to seeing. So we came up in meme culture, etc. But TikTok is everything right now. That's really my point, and it's because those are the kids that even young kids, my brother's age, 5, 6 years old, all the way up to like my sister's age, who she's 13. Um, they all consume TikTok videos. So it's like, how do I get myself on TikTok? How do I act creative? Because I'll be honest, I'm not that funny. Like, I'm not skit funny. I can't like none of that. Like in person, I can make great jokes because I have good delivery with like what I say and how I say it. But like, I'm not like I couldn't do like the TikTok, Vine, any of that. I wasn't that kind of kid. I was more creative in a music or a dance way. So, um, yeah, TikToks are where it's at. So I'm gonna try to outsource that and try to find other people that can help me with that, and bridge the gap. But also like do performance stuff, right? Um, so with as a part of this rollout, I'm gonna drop visualizers and some other things. So I'm sure we have a couple folks on the call, which would be dope. They get the exclusive since they're here with us. But we are gonna drop some visualizers and a music video as well. So yeah, that's in the coming weeks, and we're excited about that. Was able to preview a couple here with the folks on the call, and yeah, it's just
great
exciting.
already.
And all that's gonna go straight on TikTok too. All that content can go straight there too. So um, excited to see how that lands. Um, yeah, what was your second question?
Shit, I'm on damn near
I
forgot.
think I believe the second question was just related to like how you would maintain marketing as an artist.
I
Because
think I think you were talking about how to do all the drops
Yeah,
and the
what goes, you know what I'm saying? Like what goes behind all of that? You know what I'm saying? What goes
right.
behind your cover art to the, you know what I'm saying, beat, song, release, all that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So it's like I don't know when I think about like putting a visual to a video, it's like you got to close your eyes and what do you see in a lot of ways. And if you don't do that, it's tough to like envision or like you know um, come up with any ideas or imagine what uh what the video is going to be. And for me, it's like certain elements in a song might bring out different colors you see in a video, um, just based on mood or theme. Right? You can't have bright bold colors in a dull video, and you can't have dull colors in a in your face video. So when you think about, for example, the Real Boss cover that I did, excuse me, the Real Boss cover where I'm wearing the yellow jacket. I mean, one, I wanted to use that jacket any way I could. I was racing to get that. I love that jacket. I'm a huge puffer jacket guy. I got one in like every color.
bubble jackets is the shit.
Yeah, my puffer jackets are cold. So anyway, I had bought that and I wanted to use it before it got too hot, but it was still hot as when I did it. Excuse me, my language. Uh, but no, I did a shot and then I was like, man, how can I make this cover art badass? And I was like, man, my favorite video game as a kid was Grand Theft Auto. Because it's funny, I went to the store and I just picked it up off the rack and asked my mom if I could get it. She thought it was a racing game. Come home and it was GTA. You know what I mean? Life changed completely. I'm mobbing people down in the streets, like I'm mowing them down. So it was crazy as a kid. Like I enjoyed that, and I was like, man, this is sort of a reckless, like balance beat song. I mean, like put something there that also kind of has that same feel. So we did the cover to match the video game case, and so that was like it's just an example of one of my cover arts and how it sort of came about. The other details just kind of feed off of those main elements. That yellow coat, right? So what would I wear with yellow? You know, jeans wise, I'm gonna wear regular jeans, white, black, gray, probably white, and then end up with Yeezys as the shoes, white hat to complement because you don't want to detract from the coat, shades, white bag, and the color grade, the color, design the back. It's all just photo editing. You just pick something that looks good with the yellow. So you just gotta kind of pick things that like matter, like motifs or like really strong elements. For example, if you watch a music video, next time you look at a music video, look around and see like what are the main elements in this song that are pulling me in. What is it about this video that's strong? And you'll figure out what those things are, and you'll be able to understand sort of what the rest of it kind of is built around that. For example, Young Blue, You're Still Mine video with Drake, there's this car that's like super bright blue and like you can't miss it. It's the whole video. It draws you in. So it's those sorts of things that will drive the theme of like the photography element to it.
Word.
I see that. I see that. If I wish you could, Jenny, if you could bring up Spotify on the side, but you can can't really enlarge the photos too much unless you like click on it. I
Right.
guess like click on it to play the song. You know what I mean? But like as you scroll through your visuals, every cover art seems like it could be related to what the song may be. Like more rap, less cap. Like your fitted's backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Love. It's like you're not showing your face necessarily, but it's a rose in your hand. Leader of the pack. It's dark. It's at night. Like like a wolf in a blood moon. And I fuck with that fucking Real Boss cover. It's like it's a PS2 cover. It's like GTA PS2. I still fucking play that.
PS1.
Like,
that was
like,
the big circle disc.
Oh,
with the gray one. Yeah. I was like 7 or 8 when I got this game. I'm telling you, like I was busting all over. Like I was not supposed to be playing that game. And so yeah, it's just and that's also part of it too. Like I wanted to bring back that sort of that vibe because I remember like when it happened or whatever, when I had the game, it was a different sort of life, and I was like living on edge, and that's really what that song was about. I'm a real boss. I live on edge every week. I don't necessarily know if my moves are gonna pay off, right? I invest a lot of money, a lot of time into what I do, but it doesn't always mean that everything is a success, right? Everybody has failures. Like some people their failures are smaller than others, right? But we all experience failure. It's how we address it, how we handle it, how we move forward, how do we plan better because of failure, how do we strategize, prioritize, etc., and budget really. When you fail, how do you move your money different? Because your money is like your lifeblood of your business. You don't have money, you can't make a lot of things happen, right? Because money controls your time.
Don't you? Haha.
Money. Young money. That's funny.
So, one of my viewers who, fun fact, Sarah, she, one day I think was browsing and saw my Iowa State logo on my sweatshirt, and so she came in and she actually goes to Iowa State as well. She asked a couple questions. First, she asked what got you into writing, but she also asked how did Iowa State help support your music journey, and was there like anything about the university that helped specifically?
Not as a rapper. It's just not like. I mean, let's just be honest. There's not too many Black people at Iowa State, and so for them to like dedicate any sort of resources that they're already short on to like something as
or maybe what could that look like? What even could it look like if there were to even be improvement? Because I know that like at one point I was trying to help someone start a studio last summer at like in a nonprofit in the Ames area. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, if I had to be honest, I think the only thing you would really need, you wouldn't necessarily need any help from the university, just because, I mean, what you need out there is community. right? You need people to learn from, ideas to bounce off of. Like you need all that sort of thing. You need support. You need like, for example, in bigger cities, when people do events and stuff, like people pull up because they're all connected, they're all networked, right? Here, people don't necessarily network or whatever else, but like, you go out to network, you go out to know people because for example, when I throw a party or throw a concert, I expect people to show up, and then when they do stuff, I show up for theirs. And that's really how you network. You just show up for people, right? You don't sit at home. You try to participate and engage, and get off your couch for people. And that's what I super appreciate the people who are tapped into the album, right? That are actually playing the songs that I've put thousands of hours into, over the course of time, right? Over 2 years on this album. So it's like that's what matters to me. That's my metric. Um, but you had mentioned songwriting as well. Um, and as far as the writing piece, it's interesting you mention it. I mean, I've always been writing since like 16, 17, but I didn't make music too much in college. Like my first 2 years really. I was just so busy with school. I was trying to knock everything out, but I still wrote songs all the time. I never recorded them or whatever else, and so I just continued to write and write, and I figured out my path as an entrepreneur. And then by the time I decided to pursue rap again and like really do this, it really was. I looked around and I was like, what kind of person am I like? And what's the other element to it? Uh, what rooms do I want to be in? I was like, man, what rooms would I just die to live and like be a fly on the wall of those conversations? And it was music. I was like, would love to understand how these songs were written, or like what people were thinking when they wrote this, or when they added this hi hat here, what drove that? Like, I want to see how they mixed that. Like, how did you make that sound that way? That's just being curious. And so in college, I decided to hop in and work with an engineer. His name is Anthony Maldonado, AM Mixes. He's a great engineer. Does phenomenal work, and I worked with him. Paid him a good amount for mixes, mostly by the single, and yeah, he always showed love. I traveled down to Des Moines um, infrequently, maybe every other week or so for a good couple months, and I took him the money, got the songs, everything mixed, dropped as many songs as I could a couple of years, um, and I was writing again every day. By that point, when I was making the trips, I was like, if I'm going to take trips, I'm going to be writing every day. So I wrote on the bus. I wrote before class, during class, after class. And that's how I knew I loved it, because I always wanted to write. I always wanted to finish that song, or I wanted to finish that idea. And so, yeah, you get better at storytelling by storytelling. It's like any other skill. You get better by doing it. And so, if you ever, for example, want to become a songwriter, you want to, pursue music in any way, you just have to do it every day. And if you don't do it every day, then you're not going to build the skills necessary to compete, but also just to make your art, like to see your own potential through. A lot of people don't see it that way. They think about output, but you also have to look at it in a way of you as an individual, and did you actually fulfill your purpose? Um, so a lot of what I think I'm supposed to do in the future is give back to and help enable people. So there's a lot of things I want to do, personally with like charity and paying, my blessings forward as a part of my business and potentially a foundation in the future, things like that. That's how I want to, make my mark. And so, yeah, it's all about doing it every day, and you'll figure out sort of your path if you just you work at your craft.
Yo, can we build off that? That's when so this is in college. This is like 2016, 2017.
Yes, toward the
Word,
junior senior year. Yep.
word. Yeah. Ironically, we were all still in Ames, at least at that time. I
Mm-hmm.
want to ask, somebody asked in the chat, where is it at?
Yes.
Sarah, what got you into writing music? And then, oh yeah. What got you into? So what got you into writing
Oh, okay.
Before you know got to that consistent basis, like what were like some of your influences and what got you into writing music?
Yeah, okay, that's an interesting way. I didn't necessarily say that it was asked. So what got me started in music, we were honestly, I was just young, and my best friend Trey, he had a mic and he wanted to make music, and we were kids, but we wanted to like just make songs. It was just fun because there's not a ton of things to do, and so we try to make songs. I think for me, it was also another way to like connect to what I love, which was hip hop. I always had a love for hip hop, so I was like, if I'm ever gonna do it and try it, it's probably now. And so every summer we made songs. I would still write in class, whatever else around school and sports. Outside of that, find beats online and stuff. But as far as like the real writing, like the writing that I do now, like in terms of verses with bars and the actual format and like timing everything out so that I can, for example, I'm gonna add lyrics to my songs, like sync lyrics on Apple Music and stuff, so that everything flows, um, and that like the songwriting can be appreciated in some ways, because sometimes it's hard to even understand everything, and so when you see it, live, it might work that way. But no, I started in high school, and I guess the catalyst for that was just my curiosity for hip hop and you know just wanting to be like my idols.
And so, who are your top 5 influences? If you were to be in a studio room with any rapper, singer, or even engineer right now, my 2A, because you guys are asking 2A, B, C questions. So
Let's
my
keep
2A,
building. Let's keep building. Lay the lake goes down.
my question would be speak on how important it is. Engineers. Hashtag respect the engineer. Um,
Oh man,
how was it finding that engineer that you can trust with your work, that you can trust with establishing the relationship that you're gonna build the quality of your artistry?
I think first you have to understand the basic elements of a mix before you can even like entertain what engineering is, right? Because otherwise you're just be like, oh, it's just gonna be better, and it's all air quotes, and everybody has different design tastes, right? But you have to understand what things you're looking for in a song before you can even talk to an engineer or ask, because they're gonna ask, what do you want it to sound like? They're not just gonna take your music in, like they need a reference track or they need some sort of like idea of your vision. And so the better you can paint that picture for them, the better your end product is, the more happy or satisfied you're going to be as a client. Um, so if the artist is educated and has done their homework and they know what kind of music they want to make, it's easy for the engineer. Otherwise, it's going to be a lot of back and forth if they don't know what they want. Um, so yeah, engineers are absolutely critical to the work that we do. People don't necessarily hear it because engineering is so good at this point that when you hear music that's not engineered well, you can tell. And so that's where you don't want to be. Otherwise, like you just got to make sure you're mastered, you're loud enough, and that your mix elements stand out, right? You can hear every little detail in the song because if you can't hear the details, then you wasted somebody's time, the listener and also the producer. So um, and sometimes the producers is the engineer, sometimes that's not the case. So either way, they have to make sure that everything is cohesive, um, and the engineer is responsible for the experience of the listener. Um, the artist is responsible for the performance of the vision for how the song should sound. Right? They help the producer, same thing, right? They're able to add sonics to it, and the engineer makes it all work.
Right. So, what top 5 artists influences your sonic and your cohesion to making sure you can write a
You
bar from
asking
verse?
my all-time top five? Are you asking for my current top five? Are you asking for my most influential on Quan Draper sound? Are you asking for any context?
The context is what are the artists that influence Quan Draper's sound? And then the second top 5 would be if you could feature with any artist, no matter the tier.
So A,
Oh,
B, the C would be
everybody's gonna
maybe
say
all
Drake on
time.
that one. But I'm just gonna be honest. It's just is what it is. He's the goat of my generation. As far as like a collab that would be dope, I would probably start with Lil Skies. Like Lil Skies is he's a very interesting, versatile artist. So when you hear like his stories and his songs, you probably can understand like why I would say that. Like he tells similar stories with similar ways of thinking about things, um, similar bars in some cases. But nah, he's somebody I look up to in the game for sure, and he's somebody that I think like where we're at as far as like age and music we can make. I think that would be a dope collab. Um, Top five influences. Okay, so I'm gonna say Drake for sure, because it's like when you're coming of age, that time period I talked about earlier, 13, 14, 15, 16. Whatever
Yeah.
you're listening to right in that time is gonna shape who you are for the most part, in your adult life. Like it's just that's where you start to lean musically, sonically. Um, Big Sean was critical at that time as well. He had a couple of albums that were important for me,
Okay.
in terms of like the ways that I think now, law of attraction, um, manifestation, like um, reading. He's a big reader, and so he kind of influenced me to read certain books that matter. And yeah, overall, it's just finding your influences, your resources, and so he was helpful there. He'll come. We'll get him back. Um, Number three.
Oh yeah, go.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry.
you're good. I'm sure he'll come back. Uh, Number three, Russ is a big influence on me. You'll hear that in terms of like sort of the ideation and like the futuristic thinking. When I was in college, I did a lot of like the Strengths Finder test, and futuristic was always um, my number one strength. Competitiveness was always in the top three, but futuristic was always number one. So, and the other one within that group of three pretty much varied test to test. But um, yeah.
So,
Who's my 4 and 5? This is tough. Man, that is really tough. I'm gonna say G Easy as 4, just because when you think of like the Draper character, G Easy has a lot of character.
character.
Sort of.
Okay. Okay. That's. I mean, I was thinking the same thing.
Also, I am half white, so like people don't necessarily acknowledge that, but like I am half white, so like some of the uh, white culture ties I get to. Um, just because I'm raised also in like one of the whitest states in America.
I was
Um,
gonna ask that. How
it's
the feeling of the diversity of like I can realize mulatto or you
Mhm,
know
for sure.
multi whatever you want to fucking call it in this PC age
Half
person from
black Dexter in the laboratory.
so what
I said half black Dexter in the laboratory.
happened like
Isn't
I'm,
that
I,
one of your lines?
That's one of my bars. Yeah, yeah,
oh
and greatness.
oh
Yeah.
that's so talk about that in a rural state as well. Once you get to after you get to your fifth one, yeah, like what's that?
It's interesting because I always, when I was in school, as an elementary school, I was in a white neighborhood, so I was like one of like 5 black kids in the whole school. But it was cool, I just had um, very white experience through those ages. Go to middle school, it's a bigger group of kids, more diverse pool of kids, different places, feeder schools, right? Makes sense. High school, a lot more diversity as well. West High School is very, very diverse. But I'll also say I still have relationships with teachers from elementary school. Like my elementary school had like they turned out like doctors and whatever from Sioux City. Like they had a really good set of teachers. So does West High. Um, and West High was a lot more diversity, and Iowa State, and you guys would know, like it's very diverse. It's the most diverse campus I've been on, even though it's still You know, when I say diverse, I mean from different countries and different things like that. It is still predominantly white. Um, what is it called? A PWI, predominantly white institution. Um, is what it is. Um, but you know, I found diverse resources there. You know, I had good relationships with like the president of the university and the now VP of Student Affairs, or I think Student Affairs at Michigan. By the way, go Bucks! He's not here in this call, but he works for Michigan now, and I'm an Ohio State fan, so that one hurts. But Martino is a great person, black man. I knew previous uh, I knew him by heart, Tom Hill, previous VP of Student Affairs before he retired. Was able to like see him through his transition out and Martino's transition up. So that was interesting. Being at Iowa State, it was just like there were actual black role models, you know, in my community, which was very rare. I didn't have any of that, you know. Besides my dad, I didn't have a ton of black men in my my space that I could look to and say, you know, I can be just like you, or I can do what you do. So um, they enabled me. I had so many people at Iowa State that enabled me, and so you know, I was able to understand and grasp diversity. Um, I'll also tell you, Bo, I was a part of the National Conference on Race and Ethnicity and the Iowa State Conference of the same thing. So the I-Score Conference and the INCORE Conference. I went out to Indianapolis and I was able to like learn about, you know, um, racial injustice and, you know, classist, you know, just all sorts of different things around race and ethnicity and how they're treated in different cities and different communities around the world in different social spaces. So I was assigned a group and we did a whole project and it was dope. So I had a lot more diversity, you know, up to now where I live in Iowa and Sioux City, where I work from home. But when I go to work, you know, Tyson's a wonderful company, but it is mostly white. And so, you know, it's a different feel. But um, yeah, it's
Sketchy.
different. It's weird being in this sort of a community, but it is its reality, right? So, what's up, Jen?
So you involve sports in your music or sports references like sports, and since we're kind of talking about Iowa State and kind of talking about influences, did you find much influence or enjoyment or yeah, general inspiration when you worked with the student athletes? Because that also was another like into like another world of kind of diversity and backgrounds.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't tutor. I didn't get to tutor that many people. Um, and honestly, I tutored more girls than I did guys when I was there, which was interesting. But um, no, I mean, I think it was a good experience to work with the student athletes. They provided a new sort of way of life, and they were able to educate me on what it means to be successful. So I understood their grind a little better. Was able to help them out and see them through, you know, quality performance, you know, academically. So that was fun for me to see them succeed and go off and win games, right? Because Iowa State's building a really good football program. Basketball is really down this year. It's a little scary, being honest. I don't know. Maybe it's just no hill magic. You know, when we get that back, it'll be a little different. But it's yeah, it's not a great season for Iowa State basketball. But yeah, I enjoyed that. As far as the sports references in my music, you will notice a lot of those. It's the easiest way for me to communicate because I was just raised with sports since I was, you know, I won't say in diapers, but like my dad, he had me in '94, and the Bulls were, you know, and the Cowboys were both, you know,
Running
rocking
it.
at that time. So like I was born into like two great eras, right? He was a huge Michael Jordan Bulls fan for a while, right? Then Jordan retired. He transitioned to Kobe. Um, Rest in peace to Kobe. And yeah, that was sort of his arc, you know. And so, you know, now he's still a Lakers fan, and we cheer for the Lakers together. But yeah, I was born into sports, and that's just it's who I am in a lot of ways. It's competitive, performance driven, very merit driven sport. It's fun. It's also entertainment too. I think people forget that, but like
Of course.
it's fun when people go out and take risk. So,
Yeah, I bet that helps with the discipline in the rap game and like building yourself as an artist and developing yourself and identity. It's like all
yeah,
famous celebrities,
yeah,
sports, and athletes. You have a character. You have you have a certain discipline and athleticism to you. So it's got to be competitive. If you're gonna last long and you're gonna build yourself as a business, you've got to be competitive, driven. I respect that,
and
man.
yeah. In a lot of ways in music, it's not even so competitive as much as it used to be. There is a certain element of, well, you got to be good enough to get people's time, and it is what it is. That's part of the game. You're trying to do good enough to like make people care. But at the same time, it's just about what your vision is, right? If you don't ever want to make incredible Grammy winning music, that's up to you. Like you can sit in your bedroom and just make, whatever makes you happy. Like who's like if somebody doesn't like that they have other issues. Like why would you be upset at somebody else's happiness? Like now if you want to be successful and you want to make money from it, then there's a certain standard you have to do with your mixing, or there's a certain certain set of chord progressions that you're going to have to master and understand. Like there's a lot of different um, things that you'll have to do just based on your goals. And so when you identify who you want to be and what you want to do, what your big picture is, what the landscape of the next 10 years could look like, right? Because it's going to take 10 years. It's just is what it is. It takes 10. It takes 10,000 hours. So you just got to decide how you're going to get there and identify what your goals are. What does your finish line look like at that 10 years?
Yeah.
And then you build backwards, you know. So
You got reverse engineer your year plans.
that's what I'm saying. Like, so for example, if my goal is to make 100,000 streams next year, okay,
Yeah.
well, how many songs am I going to drop? And then how many average, how many on average do I have to get? I'm going to drop 100 songs and average of 1,000. I drop in, 50 songs and average of 2,000. Like, what's the math, right? And you break it down. Okay, well, maybe I got to have a hit or two to counteract some of these other ones. And then you build backwards, and then you know what your requirements are in order to make that happen. That's sort of the project planning that I probably should have alluded to a little bit better with you earlier, Steve-O, around like how to plan out projects and rollouts and all that, how to extend shelf life. Um, this is all free game, right? But at the end of the day, I think somebody else could take value from it, right? When you have goals or things you want to accomplish, you just need to understand what resources you need to make it happen. Um, the money, the people, the outfits, the scenes, the locations, the context, the dialogue, whatever it may be. That's all got to be in your head, and you have to like log it all and document it all, and then just execute. So um, again, it's all about knowing where you want to be or what your final vision is, and then you just work backwards and you fill in the gaps where you need to. Makes it easy to plan. We missing Jim.
Yeah, she said she had to step away. She said she had to stretch out.
Okay.
I want to go, man.
Cool.
I say this, man. I usually don't listen to albums straight through. Man, I had the pleasure of just actually sitting back, relaxing, and just letting the tape roll out, man. Just letting it play from front to from 1 to 10. You know what I'm saying? There's some joints that I'm not rocking with, but you know what I'm saying. I like the presence you take. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like this is me. This is like me, like living. I'm like standing in my own light, basically, and I'm not gonna let my shadow like dim me. You feel me? So like I dig it, man. I could dig it. I wanna ask, what's your favorite track of the album? You know what I'm saying? That's from 1 to 10. Which one would you I have my favorite. We can talk about that afterwards, but I wanted to know,
So
Lobo, if you got a favorite, you know what I'm saying, you can throw yours in the hat as well.
let's let's give it context a little bit more, because I always love to make sure we're clear on what we're really saying, because there's so many different interpretations of all that. So my favorite song, or are we talking about the best song, or like
Your favorite song, not the best one. Your favorite song.
or okay, see, because it's like my children. How do you pick your kids? You know, like you got a favorite kid. You know, like um, the song that means the most to me. That's how I have to frame it. The song that
Okay.
means most to me is Greatness, and that's just because it's, you know, I made it for my mom, and it's cool. I'm not sure. I'll probably get that song on the radio here this week too.
Nice.
That's my friend Jacob. Has some connections in Omaha, and hopefully, yeah, they're really cool people. So they're gonna, you know, try to play the record if they like it. So that song is a lot to me. It's my mom's birthday tomorrow, so we're gonna go out to eat tonight and celebrate for her. And yeah, that song is dedicated to her. I've given her all the profits to it. So anybody that streams that song, it will go straight to her PayPal, and she'll be paid all the money for that song. So it's
Guess I'll be her biggest fan.
Damn, that's like literally for your mom. That's what's up. Hey, I believe I put a playlist together last night when I was streaming real quick, and Greatness, Trippin' Worthy, and Devotion was the ones I pulled through. So I'm
oh
gonna make sure Quan's mama gets something in her PayPal by the end of the month. We gonna run this up.
yeah, I wish
Run it
Spotify
up.
had
Yeah.
better numbers, man.
I
They
mean,
better
I've
get
already
their
listened six
payouts
and a
right.
half times.
What was that, Jim?
I said I've already listened 6.5 times.
Why the half?
The
No,
whole
I'm playing.
album, sorry.
Oh, the album. Oh, sweet. That's love.
You know,
Um,
that's running it up.
that's love.
Shout
Very
out
much
to all the
appreciate
support in
that.
the community.
Yeah.
Steven, how many times did I do that one day, your song? Like, Steven's top song on my Spotify, I think was specifically probably from one day.
That shit was 50 repeats.
It's
That's how
love.
you.
But nah, I gotta get my numbers up. I gotta do some more submission today too. That's on my list. Playlist submission, try to get this song out to these different playlists. And you know, I think Greatness is gonna be one I focus on. Devotion is gonna be one I focus on for sure. And the third record I wanted to focus on was Down. Down is a dope record too. So um,
Yeah,
I
I
think
like
that's
Down.
I think that's the best one, man. I think that's the
You
best one
like
Ah, you
right
Down
like
the
now.
that?
best?
I think seven is the one. I think
We
that's the
should we
one.
should we
seven,
should let them
seven's dope.
know.
If I was playlisting or you know what I'm saying doing a set, I would listen to seven. I
Yeah,
would throw
it's a
seven on.
vibe. That one's a vibe. I gotta start putting money on that one too, man. I submitted to a lot of playlists and put Devotion out there, but I getting a lot of no's. A lot
Mm,
of no's. It's wild, but it's cool. I'm expecting no more no's than yeses. So
factual.
you know, I'm expecting to hit. But you know, it's like I keep penetrating these inboxes. Right, at some point they're gonna be like, "Damn, okay, this is like the third time I've heard this. This guy, he's fire. Like I'm missing something. This one's fire. Maybe I should go back and look at the other ones." Um, so yeah, I'm just, you know, I'm thinking about the next hit. You know, and I got a lot of things still in the vault to drop that I'm excited about. The records that have like life to them, like real, like they were made after my breakup. You know what I mean? So like I got some real confidence and some real, you know, dependence to it.
Word up,
So,
word up, word up.
but yeah, I feel you, bro. Down was one of my favorites. But then I, you know, I made some other records. You know, like Greatness was a pretty late submission to the album. When I heard it, I knew what I was gonna write about. So, and another story about that. So, um, when I uh, when I made the record, 2 weeks later, some people came over to record, and they recorded. Like my mom called literally, and she was crying because something happened with her license and whatever else. And it was very minuscule, but it was crazy because I just played that record for them, and then she called me crying. It was like I manifested it like within like it was like 3 minutes after that happened. So and they were just coming to get studio time. So um, it's wild, like stories like that, you know, connective records. That's why it means so much more to me, right? What's behind it. Um, the Down is a fun record. That's like the top down, windows down, you know, going 75 on the freeway. So like, you're just having a fun Saturday. As opposed to like Greatness is like more of a Monday morning on your way to work. You know, want to catch a good vibe. music.
Word.
So down goes in the swells from 5 to 6.
Yeah, that could be it. That's a car ride for sure. For sure. That's what I said. If I was making a playlist, or if I was, you know what I'm saying, putting something together, that would definitely be my joint. I think people they just getting warmed up. You feel me? Like once they like hear your shit over and over, you have replayability. You feel me? If that makes sense. You have
Yeah.
repeat ability for somebody like, and you want that. You know what I'm saying? You as an artist, you kind of want that for people to be like, bet on yourself like twice. Basically, I'm gonna bet on myself by releasing it for like, you know what I'm saying, discoverability, and then I'm gonna bet on myself again to bet that I can at least get a couple plays out of you and maybe out of your ears, and I can maybe, you know what I'm saying, get you to add me on a playlist or two. That's kind of like what you want to do. You want to kind of keep doing that, you know what I'm saying, and keep scaling it, shit, keep scaling it up, you know what I'm saying, step up
Yeah.
and step up. You feel me? You're on the right, you know what I'm saying, you're doing
Yeah.
the right shit, bro. You're doing the right things for sure.
And we talked about it earlier, about like goals. Like, so we talked about my goal of streams. I want 50,000 streams this year, and then the following year I want 200,000. Right, I want a hockey stick growth. Right, just based on the internet, what I want to do with my YouTube show. A drink with Draper, which is going to be dope. Just things I want to do that I think are going to help accelerate growth.
Which you
pretty
can
quick.
share about Drinks with Draper.
True.
If you would like.
I'll leave that for now. I want to make sure that announcement is dope. I don't want to give out too much. But yeah, maybe we can do another stream and announce that. We can do,
We can do a cross stream because
You heard it here. We'll be back again, folks.
that'd be fire.
Let's go.
But yeah, a lot of things I want to do digitally, right? So 50 songs, 50K streams. That means 1,000, on average per song. So gotta have some songs that hit, 6,000 streams. I gotta really put money into marketing, do shows, get some engagement.
don't worry, we'll get him in.
Hmm?
Sorry, I said don't worry, we'll get him in to your marketing. I'm sorry. I literally can't think of other things now when I hear the word money.
That's funny. That's hilarious. Yeah, it just takes a lot of capital to invest in yourself, and when you do so, right, you're gonna see the rewards. It just won't be immediately. It's gonna take a little time for the money to grow on itself, and the money to go to work.
I thought of a good question. So, what do you do? Because, like, you're working full time. Like, so how are you grinding and then also making sure that you're keeping yourself healthy?
Ooh,
Mental health.
it's
Yeah.
it's all about deadlines, right? So if you set strict deadlines and you're only working off deadlines and you're not like taking a week off, not a week off, but like a weekend off from like going crazy hard, like you just enjoy yourself. You got to do that every time to time, every now and again. It's important for your psyche, right, to have room to breathe. Like we all can perform, we don't have uptime of 99 to 100%. Like most of us are at like 95 or 90. So our bodies are like machines. We can only do so much for so long, right? We have wear and tear. We have maintenance that we have to do. It's all important. So part of that is rest, and part of that is happiness. Happiness affects your stress, how you react to things, your decision making, your levels. So it's like sunshine is that it's important for me. That's why I'm excited for the springtime. Drop this album, get rid of the all the, like, there's some sad vibes on there, but the stuff I want to drop in the spring, like this song called Friday Night. I got a record with some other local artists that are really dope, and it's a dope record, and it's like it's more of a party record, but you wouldn't want to play it in January. You know what I mean? Everybody's
No,
cold.
but I'm already excited. Like I'm ready. I'm ready to get past the snow. Like the sun is out. It's almost March. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gonna pull out that yellow jacket again?
I might. I got a couple. Yeah, I got a couple other things. I think I want to drop a couple EPs and some singles and whatever from spring to summer. So um, yeah, I'm
Nice.
excited. I might probably bring that jacket out for a couple photos, and you know, it's definitely like something like wearing the performance. So um, yeah, excited for this though. It's gonna be a whirlwind for sure.
So, brand wise, you have like Quan Draper, but I know that you have spent time with thoughts around like merchandise and design and stuff. So what does that all look like in your life and how does that influence you?
Um, so I was big into like designer clothes when I was younger. It's because like my dad put me in like the FUBU and the Sean John, and you know, it was just dope to me. And so when I got older, you know, I always wanted to customize everything. Like I always wanted to get my own color hat, you know, whatever colors I was looking for. For example, I'm very particular about snapbacks. I only wear Mitchell and Ness snapbacks. I only wear um, like script hats with teams for the most part. I have a couple that vary, but it's mostly just script. And that's how I usually used to wear. I used to wear like basic clothes with like very colorful snapbacks. And so now I got my own color snapbacks, like my red and my blue one that you'll see in a music video, um, and also beanies and all that sort of stuff with my own logo. So I just wear my own color. For
Yeah.
my birthday, um, in September, I bought myself like 17 different dad hats. So wherever I go, I can just wear a dad hat, whatever color I want. You know, I have every color. Like, pretty much can cover the whole thing with 17. And so I can match with whatever. Especially like if I have a significant other in the future, right? I can, you know, a hat out, match her outfit just to compliment, show love to her, um, but not steal her thunder, right? It's small things like that.
The small things. Look at this guy.
No, swear to
Jen-
God, though, I think about like who I'm around when I'm wearing clothes. Like, especially if I'm going out. Like, if I'm like the best dressed person going out, and like it's so awkward. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to dress down to like wherever your people are at. Or you know, if they're up higher than you, you got to kind of, you know, you got to come with your best stuff, right? So it's important, right? Cohesiveness in terms of fashion. And that's really why I like my brand too. I try to do things that are very simple and versatile. That way, people can do what I do, which is customize and pair um, their merch. You know, and I hope that like I'm showing the way for other artists because I see a world where because of the internet and because of the ability to sell pretty much any way you need to, whether it be social payment app, credit card, you know, whatever it is, like there's so many ways to pay that artists in the future will all start doing what I'm doing, which is build a brand, right? Anybody can be a graphic designer and make their own brand. And then you just make clothes. It's an easy way to make money. Not easy, I won't say easy, but it's a lucrative way to make money
yeah.
as an artist because you're already influencing people. You're already hand to hand with people. Why not sell merchandise and just be able to fund your career too, fund your investments, right? For me, the merch funds the the operation. Um, Now, not like from a business standpoint, it doesn't necessarily feed directly, but like that's what I invest in is the music, so the music can sell the merch and then also advertising. So um, yeah, it's
Word.
important. R&D,
What's the
new plugins.
what's the I'm always been curious, man. What's the music scene like in Des Moines, maybe just in Iowa? Let's go with Iowa. What's the music scene like in Iowa from an artist perspective?
I won't speak on like Des Moines or whatever, but I'll speak on Sioux City. It's an interesting market. I'll say guys are creative. Um, I don't so think we agree or align on everything in terms of like process and output and things like that. Like just how we judge our careers and how we like what our standards are. But like, yeah, they're super talented, super nice guys. Like they all show love. I show love back when I can, and you know, we try to build and collaborate. You know, I have a good social relationship with a number of artists or rappers in Sioux City. They're just really good guys. You know, guys I went to school with, guys that I know through school or through friends, etc. So yeah, blessed to have those guys in the city. I hope that I can influence them and they can continue to influence me. Um, and we can make things happen, right, for the city. Because I think the real what matters to me is the youth, right? I always talk about it. It's how can I help the kids? Because that's really what I wish I had it. I wish I had was somebody to look after me and sort of influence me in that way.
Yeah. So this question, if you said possibly making a foundation, if you were to make a charity, what would it be called, and what would be your elevator pitch, your mission statement?
Mission statement for my foundation. So I've already thought about this for a little bit, but I want to do a scholarship. That's going to be the most important thing for me. I got a scholarship at Iowa State, full tuition, so I want to start my own scholarship in the future, and hopefully I can do a couple shows a year that would fund that scholarship. But the foundation would be called Draper's Dreamers. Um, my vision behind Draper's Dreamers is, I was a kid with a dream as a young kid, or just as maybe 7 to 15.
raid! Sorry. I'm sorry.
So,
We got a raid by Moon Metaphysics. Sorry for interrupting, but Moon Metaphysics, appreciate you for raiding the channel. It's amazing. But we were talking about charity, name, foundation, and purpose.
And
Yes.
I love that. Like, I Kappa-genned the Iowa State emote. I put up the side gif. I think that's why my filter came down, was because I was focused on doing the Iowa State things on the screen, and then when I saw the raid, I spoke. But anyway, no, I'm stoked to see what that comes to look like.
Yeah, so Draper's Dreamers, really, it's about enabling the youth to chase their dreams and to experiment and try new things at a young age, right? I want to help people take risk and help them go chase whatever their passion is. Because as a kid, I was a hard worker. I was like a 3.96 student in high school. College is a different story. College is so hard, man. Software engineering is one of the hardest things I've ever been through in my life. So I have a huge respect for engineering and education, especially higher education. Man, that shit was hard as. So anyway, what was I even talking about? Oh yeah, I had a dream, to be. I want to be in startups when I was younger. That was my dream. I wanted to get rich off of startups. I was like, man, I want to make a cool app, or I want to make a cool whatever. And I had a campaign, which is cool. I actually never ended up making it, and I'm glad I didn't, because Facebook would have swallowed me. But I wanted to make an events application for colleges, because I was like, man, I never know what's going on. I have to ask or know about something or see a flyer. I wanted to build some sort of, microcosm of campus events, and you can go around and see where free pizza was every night. And honestly, pull up and try, different clubs and whatever, and go link and network with people. That and house parties and shit. I wanted to do a Snapchat story of the night of that event, where you could submit a picture to that event, and at that point, it would capture. You go back and look at what happened at the party that night. They do that today, but that was an idea that I had before Snapchat did all the stories and all that stuff. So it would have been a disaster. But I won a contest through a company called Tilt, and who was the other company? Well, it was just really Tilt, but it was Canvas My Campus. It was Prezi, actually, the other company. I made a little presentation about what I was trying to accomplish, and then I ended up getting enough votes, and they liked my product. And they flew me out to San Francisco for a couple of days.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I did a little presentation for people about what it was, and Skylar, my best friend, came to help me, and so it was fun. It was a really cool trip. Kind of showed me what it could be like working in out in San Francisco. And then I went to make school the following summer, I believe, because I wanted to go chase a startup bag, and I wanted to be learn how to be a startup guy and make program and make apps. So that was something I always wanted to do, was code. And then man, I was there. It was tough. I think burnout in college really is what got to me as far as software engineering. I mean, make school was dope. I got a scholarship from Allo Black. Y'all know who that is?
Okay.
He's an artist. I need a dollar, dollar, dollar. That's what I need. That's him. Um, and so he gave me like $10,000 to go to like to live out there for the summer. They taught me how to like make iPhone apps and stuff, and then yeah, I continue to pursue that in college. So I want to do the same thing for like what they did for me, right? Scholarships and trips and that sort of thing. I want to be able to help kids realize their dream to go chase their dream. For example, if kids like want to pursue basketball, I want to be able to help pay for camps or something for a kid that may not be able to pay for camps. I want to be able to put on a scholarship and help kids pay for books so that they can not have to come out of pocket for things like college. I understand how parents and lives are, right? People are trying to struggle to get it. Minimum wage is small right now. If you don't have a college degree, it's tough to make a lot of money um, out here in these local economies. So it's like just trying to do what I can to help families, just like I was helped, and pay it forward. So that's sort of some examples and some use cases of what I envision and how I might be able to impact my community. I think it'll change over time, right? New opportunities come up, new ideas, new pathways. But really, I think it's establishing my brand first. And when I have a brand, then I can run my own events and like drive people out for good causes, etc. Um, for example, like I never shared this with other people, but like I donated like some misprint hoodies that I couldn't really sell. I donated to like homeless and it's like 24 to 30 hoodies. I try to help keep them warm. Like that kind of thing matters to me. Just trying to make sure that people have what they need. If I can help in any way, I try to do so. Of
course.
What's up, man? What's up?
Round of a fucking applause to you, man. That was not necessarily an elevator pitch, but a very extensive and an elaborate. It definitely gave me an insight to your purpose, who you are as an artist.
Stream asked me. I got you on my elevator pitch. It's homework.
Your head is on your shoulders.
I love it.
Got you there. Dreamers. You gotta clip that later.
Quick though, or however, whatever. Welcome Raiders. We are doing an AMA, which is something I've never done on my channel before, and it's music related, not specifically mental health related. So hello, welcome. Thank you, Moon, for the raid. Thank you, OG, for the sub. And AXA for the sub if you're still here.
Thank you, AXA, for the gift sub. My boy.
And this is Quan Draper. His album dropped yesterday. Here's the link down below. And then also, hey, OG, it's OG. He won some merch.
What's up,
hey.
OG?
Get familiar.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for tapping in. It's crazy.
So let us know.
Just heads up for you, OG. One of my good friends, Aman, he's from Jersey, so yeah, man, I know how it is out there, man. I know you out there grinding, so keep it up, bro. It's right on the other side of everything that you're afraid of, man. Just keep pushing, and you'll make it happen. That kid's got potential for sure.
Real shit. Real
man,
shit.
That's so okay. So Quan, that that brings me back to Twitch, right? Because none of us know each other except for me and Steve-O. I don't remember how I found OG. In fact, I really legitimately can't remember how I found him. What I do know though is that I found Dr. Bo in OG's chat and was like, okay, cool. I think this is probably another cool place to be because I didn't know him before. And I don't know, I just like another random chain link Twitch things and then all of these things. And now like Steve-O and OG, how many songs or how many beats have you guys made together?
Shit. 16. I think we up at like 16, something like that. Almost 20. Almost like 10 weeks in. You feel me? I think when it comes to some music.
That's solid.
Online and offline. I'm not gonna lie, I've been fucking with the off stream more, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? It's a work in progress, you feel me? We still tweaking some things, but You know what I'm saying? The
A lot.
collaboration is there. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the key. The next thing is, you know what I'm saying, figuring out what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? That's the next level. But you know what I'm saying? We'll cross that bridge when, you know what I'm saying, when the product is ready. You feel me? We still cooking up. You feel me? So it's still, you know what I'm saying, it's still brewing. You know what I'm saying? The crock pot is still on a lot.
I love it,
So
bro. That's just a
how
gem.
I'm just curious. So I finally have signed up for Clubhouse, so now I at least know what it looks like on the other side. Is that still a large influence? Too?
Oof. Who, me?
Quan, actually,
Oh.
because I know that Quan, I feel like
I'm
you've
not
used
on it
it.
as much. It was kind of a holiday thing, but I still would like to be on there. There's a couple things I want to do on there. One, I want to have like, dialogue with like other creators. I want to go on there and still and go play my music, right? In these rooms for these A&Rs and stuff. Worth, a few hours of my time every couple weekends, especially like if I'm traveling. I got a little bit of downtime, pop in there, play my records if I can, or, listen to other people, try to find some collaboration, or just network, pop in, see who has gems, see who has good ideas, and try to feed off those ideas, that energy, and learn something. But as far as like big influence on me now, I want to do that. And then I think I also want to create like a local uh, clubhouse room for just like local artists and just pop in every week or every couple of weeks or something, schedule these talks and pop in and chat about whatever. Everybody can talk about their releases, um, talk about collaborations potentially, whatever else, just like locally. I think it'd be dope to have conversation or dialogue around what we do. And we can celebrate each other and like talk about what we liked from each other's, stuff, what we might change or different resources. It could be a cool resource pool for people, kind of like a Facebook group, but more interactive um,
Cool.
with voices.
Kind of again, like maybe a Discord, really, potentially. So that you could
And I
have
think,
channel for maybe producers, channel for artists, you know what I mean?
mhm, yeah,
Separated into that
for sure.
stuff.
I think what's interesting about the clubhouse part is that if people would use their phone, that's the real easy part. Is just pop out their phone, they can get a little push notification because they on there talking to a girl or talking to to the guys. There's some obviously female artists too. So it's like you know everybody's on their phone, right? Because that's how we tap in. So Clubhouse was the first thought, but I think extended like an opportunity for people to stream too. And or have a Discord channel and have these conversations in private. So it's all up to to the group, and I guess we'll see where it takes it. But I would like to establish some sort of rapport with them because I may not be here forever, and so I at least want to have that connection, like where I came
Leave
from.
your
Right? I want
mark.
to make
Leave your mark for.
it's that, and it's just like I don't want to just like live here and not know the people that I live, or work with, rather just know them and have a relationship. Same thing wherever else I go. It's just a habit that I'm building of relationships in my life. Quality people that add value, creative value to what I do, and I can do the same for them. Um, I'm thinking. I mean, I'd probably like to wrap this up by 5. So we got like what 24 minutes ish. Unless you guys want to wrap up earlier than that, but um, yeah. What other questions do y'all have? What else can y'all help chime in on too? Like, what are we thinking? What's some good topics? Any questions in the chat?
Yeah, I think I want to know what. Oh, okay, sorry. I just wish that I could confidently play the music, but I don't think it's gonna be like without screwing up my layout and
And it
everything's
works.
on me.
Um,
Oh no. I'll be able to hear because I got headphones on. But
That's not the point. Like it won't play through Discord.
yeah, unless you show your
yeah.
screen, you can show your screen.
Right, and
I
I'm
mean, you
saying
still had the same problem though.
it
Cause
would mess up the layout.
oh yeah, that too.
Um,
So, um,
I got one
otherwise,
last question. I got one last question. What's next for Quan Draper? You know what I'm saying? Like what can the people
oh,
keep an eye
okay.
out for?
What year
Yeah,
are you
dope.
on your 10-year plan?
Ooh.
Okay, that's a really deep question. I'd say I'm like year 3. It's
3
hockey
game.
stick growth. I've said it before, hockey stick growth. Think about it. So, year 3, I'm climbing slowly but surely, right? But like at some point, like all the things I'm doing is all gonna, add up to something. So, um, as far as next steps, it's just music, right? And content, visual content, connecting with people, marketing the content, and trying to just get awareness built around my brand and around my music. And then when I have the hit, like there's a couple songs that I think are hits in my backlog. When I have the hit ready to go, I got the money ready to go to seed it. When I talk about seeding it, I mean paying for advertising on Facebook and
Put
whatever. Like,
gasoline on that shit.
gotta do it all. Like, you gotta put money into it. You think you can do anything for free in this world? Like, unless you're like Juice World and you have that sort of talent, like you're not gonna be able to do anything for free. You're gonna have to put your money where your mouth is and try to make things happen and take risk with your money. Now, how good you are with mitigating that risk, or how good you are with um, making moves that aren't as risky, right? Like they're sure bets because you know as much as you need to know to make that bet. For example, if I knew I could throw a show for 500 people, and I need to invest $500 in it, am I confident I'm gonna be able to make that money back? Do I know I'm gonna be able to like have people at the show and like get my return? Like, you know, trying to do a big show, it's a big risk, but it's also, big potential failure, more money, more people, etc. So it's small things like that. But really, it's just music, visual content, and making smart bets with my money going forward. Because at some point, I am gonna have that hit, that TikTok dance, that whatever, and so I gotta be ready for that. Um, I gotta have a plan.
What up?
Yeah,
um,
plan it, preparing for your success, man.
Appreciate it. How can I help y'all be successful? What more things can I do? Do y'all have uh, weekly, like, y'all send packs out weekly to people? Look, browse your beats, like in their email inbox. Is that something y'all are used to, or do y'all just post?
I go throughout my process, not like one of these producers that's like, yo, I'm doing 20 beats, 40 beats a day or a week, and then I'm sending out the packs weekly. I'm more of a, I think of it
Mm-hmm.
on the side of like an artist and an analyst before I even get to the engineer or producer side of things. So it's like I want to see a person's character, their integrity, and their lifestyle before I'm even like, what's your email address? So like right now, I'm just building my samples, so other producers could take care of that, delegating who should I allow my sample packs to, or hey, buy them yourself. And if the collaboration happens and they send it out, like working throughout that way, because the trust and the transactions with people happen a little bit different on my side of business. So yeah, just more of an around of what can producers that aren't familiar with being in a constant and consistent relationship with their engineers and in studio, what can producers look for in the interactions with artists? Because we're on a mental health chat, and I know like mentally some producers may feel like animosity or anxiety sending out packs weekly and they don't get any responses. Nobody's hitting them back up.
That hurts.
It hurts, and
mm,
it gets to that depression. It gets to that anxiety of, am I ever going to reach that level of success? I hate when people ask the question, hey, I've been doing music for a year. Where's my success at? I've been grinding, bro. Like feed a little bit on that to like conclude us and close us out.
Me? Or Steve?
Yeah.
did
Quan.
that make sense?
Yeah, if that made sense to you, I can say it a little bit more concise.
Yeah, what was the question?
Like how can producers work better in relation to responses with artists?
Oh, okay, bet. Celebrate the artist, and like when you don't be fake, but like when you enjoy something, let them know you enjoy something. Like, you know, I think something that I really enjoyed from artists, like just from hearing from you, Steve O, right? Like you mentioned, you like Down, right? I can understand why you might like Down, right? I can see what your taste might be, so then I know, what to look for in your packs, right? If you were to send me beats or what, we work on things together, right? I'm assuming that when you show love to people and you celebrate their music, even though you didn't maybe produce it, like that shows that you're still invested in their career, right? They're people that you work with. It's almost like you go to work in a co-working space. I'm walking by rooms full of producers everywhere, and they just waving hi to me and whatever else, and we're closer. Like that's really what it is when you're able to work on the internet like this too. So you got to pull me aside when you see me. You get an opportunity, um, and say what you like, what you didn't like, give me feedback, especially as an artist that like can take critical feedback. Like if you don't like something, let me know what you don't like, because that's a great opportunity for me to learn and to grow. Because if you don't mention it, somebody else might be thinking the same thing, right? And that's something I can fix, something I can tweak. Um, and I can also take that information and confirm it with somebody else. Hey, do you agree with so and so? Do you think that you know this is for example, this low end's mixed improperly? You need to cut more low end. That might be a decision I ask is another artist or something, and they'll say yes or no. We can go from there, but at least starts the conversation about growth. Um, and so, the better feedback you can provide, the better. Because, for example, you also just mentioned to me, Steve, um, that Down is your favorite record. That's my second on the list for promotion. So, since I'm getting a lot of no's on Devotion, I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's not the playlist one. Maybe that's just like the fans' favorite. But like the Down is the one I send off and try to get promoted on these playlists. So it's that helps me like budget wise, make better decisions. It's just like working like for example at a plant. You got all these different operations and whatever. Like the more information you have about your operation, the more feedback you're getting, the better decisions you can make to produce more and better product. And that's really what
Yeah,
I'm trying to do, right? Is make more better songs.
it's about the product, people, the quality of the product. Gotta love it. I enjoyed this
Absolutely.
AMA with Snowfall by Quan Draper. This was dope, Jenny.
Thanks. I
Concur.
enjoyed, and I was just excited just because I don't know it. I think it's just an energy thing, in terms of where things go and how because like I felt like I shouldn't do this, but then multiple people pointed out that like um still showcase music, have a lot of different people that are listening, so there's no reason that things like this can't be on my platform because lots of different things can go. So thank you guys for
Yeah. Shout out to Moon for the raid.
yes. Also thank you.
That was
No
dope.
doubt, no doubt, no doubt.
Appreciate
Likewise.
y'all for hosting this, and engaging me. Y'all had great questions. Y'all had great responses. Your own interjections too. Like this wasn't all about me. This was about us. This is a journey we took together. So this was enjoyable for me. I hope that we can connect again in the future and do something similar. And I hope that the folks in the audience will join us again, and hopefully we can educate y'all and y'all can engage with us, and we can learn from you too. So um, yeah, I appreciate all what y'all did this afternoon.
Word up, word up.
But oh, okay. All right.
This is where we say awkward goodbyes. Come on, let's fucking sing it like a quartet. We can do it. On the key of E major.
Y'all are lit. But yeah, y'all be blessed. yeah, I'll try to tap into y'all streams too when I get a chance. I'll stay attached and try to tap in this week. I have a little bit more time, so I see all your notifications. I see y'all working, so I'm gonna do my best to tap in and show you love and let y'all be the focal point a little bit too. I enjoy being in the audience too because I'm a fan of y'all for sure.
So
Word.
fun.
Likewise,
Want to
man.
stop by for some comical mental music, just stop by the Dr. Bo stream. That fucking guy is crazy. Um, great character, great character. Have a good
You
day,
got a
everyone.
subscription, Quan.
Bo.
Message
Hey,
me,
and
man. I don't know. I didn't hear you. Just message me. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Peace.
Oh, see, now we look funny.
Shouts to Accident.
Okay, let me this. Let me just change this a little bit. Okay.
Just go back to your regular. Just
Yeah. Okay. Well, you see, the thing is I don't have a camera up, so I'm just gonna talk in this Discord all by myself here. And yep. So thank you guys for being here. We are going to raid on over to That Thing Productions. Hey, Big Ed Smith, come with us, and converse with us. Bring your cats and kittens with you. All right, friends. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you. Yeah, I'm sorry, Big Ed. I'm sorry. We're coming up on the 2-hour mark. But come with us on the raid. You'll enjoy, okay? Thanks for being here, my friend. Let's go. Why?